We're about to show you how Captain America faced off against Captain America in Marvel Studios Avengers Endgame. Hey, I'm the Stars and the Stripes. I'm Lorraine.
If you throw me, I'll come right back. I'm Langston.
And this is Earth's Mightiest Show.
Hey, later on, musician Ingrid Michaelson's gonna pop in to talk about her fandom, but first, here's our own Agent M with the scoop on Cap versus Cap.
Ooh, that's really America's ask. I said ask.
Hey Marvel fans, I'm Ryan Panagos, aka Agent M, and I'm so excited to be sitting here with VFX supervisor of Marvel Studios Avengers Endgame, Dan DeLue. How you doing, Dan?
Doing great.
So there's so much to talk about in this film. You worked 3 years on it. Let's just dive right into some stuff. You ready?
Yep, let's go.
First thing I want to dig into, Dan, is Cap versus Cap. I don't believe you guys have the technology to clone Chris Evans yet.
Not yet.
But how did we bring this battle to life? How did you have two Captain Americas fighting so intensely?
A lot of the ways we shoot the fights is that you'll get out there and shoot it with 2 stunt performers and then kind of run the fight with them. And then you'll bring Chris Evans in and you'll shoot his side of the fight. But in this case, he shot both sides. And so same thing, we shot it with 2 stunt doubles. And then Chris would come in and play his side and play the important side. And so from that, you could kind of get the different coverage, with the stunties and the actors, and then you get that great acting with them as they fight. Originally we shot it without the cowl, without the helmet of the old suit. But then when we started testing the movie, people were losing track of which Cap was which. So, because we had the cut on his face that he would have gotten in the Battle of New York, but people weren't following that. So we ended up actually having to put a CG helmet onto Avengers Cap. What we did is we worked with Lola, it's a visual effects company, and they have this thing we call the egg. Any actor come in, but Chris will come in, and you'll have 3 cameras kind of from the general angle in which you shot it. And then from that footage, you'll take the 3 cameras, take the best angle, build the best angle, and then basically take Chris Evans' head plus face and put it on the stunt double. And the trick is that a lot of times you can't just stretch the actor's face to match the stunt double's head. So you end up having to warp the stunt person's head to match Chris Evans' head and then put his face on it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so easy.
Sure,
yeah,
easy. So we're looking at this scene, and all of it essentially is created in VFX, which blew me away. Because when I watched it, I was like, oh, that's a really cool set. It looked so much of it seemed practical and seemed so real, to the point where there's all this glass and all this action that's going on. How much do you have to do to bridge all those gaps, and especially the glass and those little particles seem wildly intricate and difficult?
We knew when we shot it was going to be glass. All the artwork that everyone was attracted to was kind of this big open space glass skyscraper for portraying the insides of Stark Tower. And it's something that we couldn't find practically, and we couldn't necessarily build. So basically, everything you see, we basically modeled inside a Stark Tower. You got one bridge that we built made of glass that was reflecting green screen. So pretty much that was great to have, but then that got replaced quite a lot too, because you couldn't pull the mat off the green screen. But all the offices you see on the side are dressed, like you would dress a set. You built all the office equipment you could possibly want and start dressing everything from the sides. And it was interesting because with the set that we built digitally was incredibly detailed. We found that when we were cutting it, there was so much complexity to it that on the shortcuts of how we usually shoot our fights, you couldn't follow the action anymore because you needed to kind of get the clean silhouette of Cap, fighting Cap, that with all that busy background. So we ended up having to go in and just adding a little more atmosphere, kind of cheating the depth of field a little bit, just to kind of pull some of the detail out that we put into it. So there wasn't as much visual information going into your eye. So it was a roundabout way to get there, but it ended up working.
In Stark Tower, so much of it is VFX, but there's also a practical set of stairs that was actually built. How do you and the VFX team, work with the practical side of things to make sure that all comes together?
Well, those things I like shooting as much practically as we can, and again, we have this relationship with the stunt team, and Cap falling and smacking things seems to be one of their favorite things. you kind of you let the stunties do their craft and keep them safe, pan out whatever pads they need, and then but let them do their wire work, and you get that you kind of get just to that edge of something it feels like it's really going to hurt, but Cap can survive it. And so when you look at the scene, you've got the bridge, stunties fall off the bridge, then you cut wide, you go to CG digi doubles of Cap. And then the shot's looking down where they're bashing between the two stairs, and you're back to stunties again. And then you're painting out the wires. And so you let them do it, you know, and then that's what makes it look real. Makes it feel like it hurts.
It definitely looks like it hurts.
It's kind of a love letter to the fans, but it's kind of a love letter for us too, just because we had worked on so many films, and especially with Cap, so that when you go into it, it's like, okay, what has to happen? And it's like, well, you have to have the shield throw. You got to get a shield throw in there somehow. It's a lot of the love of the characters.
I felt there was also love for that American Tuchus that we saw.
There is.
Right
It's the Tuchus, yes.
Dan, thanks so much for sharing so much about Marvel Studios Avengers Endgame. You guys, make sure you pick up the film now.